everyone, my beautiful souls, and happy Thanksgiving week. And if you woke up already tired, just know you got a short week. You can keep it pushing. And in a few days, you'll be eating food so delicious, it will make you forget every email you answered today. Now, this is the week where everybody pretends to be focused at work, but mentally, we're already in the kitchen eating the mac and cheese with the foil still on top. And that's okay. You're allowed to be humans during the holidays. But before the travel, the cooking, the family chaos, the Black Friday deals, which don't go broke on these deals, the did you bring this or who made that? I want to take a moment with you right here, right now. This episode is your warm reminder that you don't need a perfect year to be grateful. You don't need everything figured out to feel thankful. You don't need your life to look like anyone else's. You will just need a willing heart and a few quiet moments to breathe. So take this moment for yourself. If you're driving to work or if you're watching this on TV, a little soft reset, a small pause before the holiday whirlwind. And this is MON. We're stepping into Thanksgiving week with a lot of gratitude, maybe a few clapbacks, humor, peace. And stay tuned for an amazing episode, which you don't want to miss, not 1 second.
This is MON, still showing up.
Hosted by Denise.
So let's get started with the MON stories because I am so excited to share these. You guys had me cracking up, and hopefully I can make you laugh a little bit with these stories that you guys shared, to make your morning just a little bit more better. Right, Mercedes? This first MON story, somebody said their uncle showed up to Thanksgiving with his pet parrot. And that's where you messed up, but I'm not judging. Not in a cage, just on his shoulder, like it had a seat at the table. Honestly, I would remove myself and I wouldn't even eat there. But anywho, everything's normal. Their family is laughing. And suddenly the parrot gets spooked and does a quick little flutter across the kitchen. It lands right by the food. And before anybody can react, the bird poops dangerously close to the turkey. The room went silent. Everybody was staring at the turkey like, yeah, that's done. Uncle and cousins were all fighting about whether they should throw it out, that they're not going to eat it. And then the uncle jumps in immediately and was like, relax, the bird is clean. He's like my family. Listen, if a bird poops, I mean, I guess that's a blessing when a bird poops on something, right?
Uncle's caption is
the bird blessed the kitchen or blessed the food beforehand. And then they went back and forth, and then that's when the grandma said nope, that it was over, and the turkey went in the trash. And uncle was offended. The parrot was clueless, and now every Thanksgiving they joke about it.
he ain't coming to next year.
Yeah, I would not invite your uncle. Or if you're going to bring a parrot or an animal to a gathering, bring a cage, bro. Because one thing about me, I am so picky. If I know that person is not clean, I will not be eating that food, okay? Because I just won't. So I get it. I wouldn't have eaten the turkey either. But at least you showed up. This next MON story, somebody said, so I offered to make mac and cheese for my man's family's Thanksgiving. Well, that's where you messed up. I feel like some of these things are just common sense, people. But hey, we get a good laugh out of it. Mind you, his auntie is famous for her mac. I walked in with my dish. They lifted the foil and the silence was loud. It looked dry, pale, and like it was struggling. Then why even bring it? But okay. At that point, I probably would have just bought a bunch from Chick-fil-A, their mac and cheese, and just put it in a whole pan and just put it in the oven.
Let the aunt do her job.
Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is so good. Not sponsored by Chick-fil-A. But then she said, the auntie smiled and said, bless her heart, she tried. I tasted it myself. Yeah, I was right. It sucked. If you knew it sucked, then why would you still bring it?
Period.
Then the uncle goes, baby, Auntie Mac and Cheese will make you see Jesus. This one right here will make you meet him early. Everybody was laughing, and the auntie brought out her pan, and the room cheered. I left my sad mac and cheese on the counter, and now it's a family joke. Bring extra mac and cheese just in case. Well, I mean, I think nowadays we should just make that a full on tradition. Like, if you know somebody offered to cook that's not really a cook, just make sure you have backup.
Just don't let these people cook. Just tell them you can't cook.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to make them feel bad.
I don't want my stomach to feel bad.
And then this final Mon story is from Kenny, and he shared this on Instagram. He said, hey, this is Kenny, now living in Japan for a couple of months. It's been quite an adjustment. I always wanted to go to Japan. Didn't you go to Tokyo?
China and Japan are not the same.
From public transportation, the food, it's quite amazing. By the way, you should come visit. Maybe Mercedes and I will come visit. The people, and of course the language barrier, Google Translate comes in clutch. I've been managing and getting by, but after a pretty rough day at work while catching the train back to my apartment, I somehow missed my stop and ended up heading to God knows where. See, you won't catch me on a train, okay?
Do you know we won't?
I ended staying on the train until it reached the end of the line, and it happened to be the final train to the night. So I ended up paying a very expensive Uber ride back to my apartment. Biggest takeaway, which can also translate to situations we go through: get off the train situations as soon as possible, because the longer you stay on, the more expensive or costly it would be for you. Despite what happens in life, it will always bluff out. And that's a great advice. I was just thinking, I'm like, that can be applied to anybody's relationship. Get out as soon as possible. And don't wait until the last stop, because then you're gonna be screwed. They're gonna leave you out in the cold, like the train did. Right?
I know where you tried to go there.
Okay. Anyways, you won't catch me on a train. So if I do come visit with Mercedes, we're not taking the train. We'll Uber. And yeah, Philly train stations, you would never catch me in New York or none of that. There's rats in New York train stations. You can catch
rats everywhere.
Yeah, people are rats. But no, Kenny, thank you for sharing your Mon story. Keep showing up, and that has a double takeaway, as we explained. You still showed up, you learned your lesson, and guys, always get off the first stop. Can't you just walk to the other stop that you were supposed to get off?
No, you're delulu. That's what happens when you're bougie and never take a train.
The Polar Express.
Oh my god.
So now let me talk to you, not to judge, but to ground you, because this week, I know for a fact, you're going to see a lot of beautiful moments online. And truthfully, some of them are real. Some families really do love being together. And some homes really do feel peaceful and warm. And if that's your family, I love that for you. I mean, that's my family too, when they're not fighting over dominoes. But if your holiday looks different, even if it's quieter, messier, or more complicated, I want you to hear this. Nothing is wrong with you or your life. People post moments, not the whole story, not the, conversations, not the dynamics, not the emotions. And that's okay, right? Because we're not supposed to share everything. But I don't ever want you comparing your reality to someone's single snapshot. That's why I ask God for discernment this year. And I pray that you guys get some discernment too. Not to see the fake, but to stay grounded in what's real for me and what's real for you. I know that going home can feel a lot, and you're not alone. I know being around family can bring up some feelings, and not because you're behind, but because you're being seen by people who remember every version of you and they love you. But sometimes they ask questions that make you feel like you need to prove something. Like, what's new? Where's your person? Or when are you having kids? Do you have any updates? What's your plan? Like, you're supposed to have everything figured out. But here's the thing, you're allowed to be in process, like I spoke last episode. You don't have a deadline moment every year. You don't need a big announcement to feel worthy of showing up. You get to be proud of where you are without explaining it to anyone. And before this week gets loud, before the pictures, before the travels, before the stress of coordinating everybody, I want you to breathe with me just once, because I know that life didn't go exactly how you planned this year, and that's why it's God plans, not yours. But I know you thought you'd be in a different place, in a different season, maybe even around different people, and still you're here. And there's so much to be thankful for that has nothing to do with the holiday table. And these are just a few things that you should be thankful for. Be thankful for the strength you didn't know you had. Be thankful for the days you didn't want to show up, but you still did. Be thankful for the friendships that stayed and for the ones that left, because both taught you something. Be thankful for the prayers that were answered and for the ones that God protected you from by saying, you know what, not yet. And be thankful for the boundaries you set, even when your voice shook. Be thankful for the healing you did in private that nobody will ever fully understand. Be thankful for the peace that's slowly finding you. Be thankful for the clarity that's replacing confusion. Be thankful for the softness that's returning to your spirit this year, that harden you in ways people don't even know. And most of all, be thankful for you, not the version you show the world, the version that's growing, that's learning, that's unlearning, that's trying, the version that keeps choosing faith, keeps choosing hope, and keeps choosing to show up even on the days you feel tired inside. And this Thanksgiving, don't force yourself to be perfect. Just be present and be honest with yourself. Just be grateful in your own way, in your own lane and in your own timing. And remember, the biggest blessings aren't always the loud ones. Sometimes they're quiet, like peace, like clarity, like you becoming who you're meant to be. And you guys know that I always like backing things up with Jesus. In Thessalonians 5:18, here's your Thanksgiving reminder. Give thanks in all circumstances. Not because this year was smooth, not because everything made sense, but because God walked with you through every single moment. Be grateful for the strength you build, the clarity you gained, the peace that finally is settling in. Your gratitude doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be honest. And sometimes the real prayer is simply, God, thank you for carrying me this far. Now, I want you to take a moment today as a self-love reminder and name one thing you are thankful for. The real thing that carried you. I get it. Some of you guys might say health, your family, but one thing that really carried you, and let your heart hear it, because that's really self-love. And I'm not saying you don't have to be thankful for the other things, but really take a moment and be thankful for those smaller things. Okay, guys, so I'm going to give you some holiday clapbacks that you guys can use for Thursday, because you guys are going to need it. And yeah, why not spice things up and give you some answers that you can give your family members, but say it nicely, okay? And these are basically, the top questions that you'll most likely get. And if you get one of these questions, I want you guys to comment what was the question and what was the reaction of your family members. So, are you seeing anyone, Mercedes? Yeah, red flags. They're the only ones consistent. When are you having kids? Ask God. He's the one with the schedule, not y'all. Guys, God plans. When are you getting married? Soon as y'all stop getting divorced, I'm studying y'all mistakes. You going back for seconds? Yeah, my metabolism works. Yours retired in 2011. Why are you dressed like that? Because I like getting overdressed to be in the sala. You can say, because I'm the only excitement in this family. Yeah, boring.
Lock it.
Why do you eat so much? Because I can, and because your food came out nasty last year. I'm recovering. Why are you always traveling? I'm running from conversations like this.
Realest one.
Or when people say, you don't call anybody, you can just say, and somehow the peace is incredible. Or they'll be like, you look tired. This is my favorite one. And you look nosy, but here we are. Or why don't you come around anymore? Because every time I do, y'all remind me why therapy stays booked. Now, make sure that you use these clapbacks wisely, because I'm not paying for anybody's family arguments. Okay? But all right, my loves, that's all for today. Hopefully I made you smile. Hopefully this week brings you a lot of peace, good seasoned food, and moments that remind you of what truly matters. And if this holiday looks different for you or just feels different, don't blame yourself. Different isn't bad. Sometimes it's just protection. And I'm grateful for you for listening and for showing up with me, week over week and growing with me. And if you are lonely this holiday, my DMs are open. Flood me with messages. I would love to keep you company somehow and let you know that you do matter. And although your holiday does look different, um, you still have somebody who's here to support you, and me and Mercedes will be responding. Yeah, I included you, Mercedes. I love to include Miss Seven. Um, and we have something exciting that's dropping next week. So stay tuned. Have a safe Thanksgiving. And I'll see you guys next time. Same, same place, still showing up. Bye now.
Okay, sorry.
I haven't had a $5 foot long in the longest. And they're actually not like a whole foot long.
Did you measure it?
After I ate.
What? Am I tripping? Is this camera shaking?
My legs.
No, but the actual camera. Maybe I'm tripping. I swear that shit was shaking. And take
I am still showing up in this episode. And if you're seeing this blooper, we recorded yesterday. The mic was messed up. We recorded today, and now this is shaking. Now I got to redo the whole thing. I'm checked out.
You're doing great. Third time's a charm?
More than a third time, bruh. I think at this point, this is the fourth. Oh my God. Hold on. Can you pass me that water?
Girl.
You ever feel like you got something stuck there? Like and you congested or something? Like a booger?
Sexy.
I feel like I need a gargle.
Go gargle. Salt water. Warm salt
You
water.
know where it feels like you're drinking a
Bueno, vamos bien. A los pokés.
Oh.
Your steak remover?
It's called Downy.
You gotta put it on there. I mean, you can't see it in the clip. But when we're done, you need to put it on there before it sets.
So Thilacensis, 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 Mercedes.
What?
What is it called? Thessalonians? Thessalonians?
What? Say it again?
Thessalonians?
What?
You're so close.
Thessalonians. 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 Thessalonians.
Exactly. Back it up with Jesus, girl.
That's sad though. The fact that some people, family members really had to take you straight to therapy. But anyways, use this.
Me straight to therapy.
What?
Y'all take me straight.
I will take you to therapy.
Right after Thanksgiving and Christmas. January.
I'm hibernating. I should do a whole series on hibernation.
You mean you therapist?
You mean who's this? I don't want to hear that shit for New Year's, bruh.
What? New Year, new me?